discipline. The good old Merriam-Webster's dictionary, whatever it is here. If I can find it now in its teeny tiny itty bitty living space writing. I lost it. It's in there. Okay, here we go. Discipline. Discipline has many meanings. Punishment is one type, not the way in which I'm meaning it in this video. Instruction, a field of study, but more per what we're talking about in this video, what I am talking about when I say discipline. I am talking about training that corrects, molds, or perfects the mental faculties or moral character, I suppose. That's the most accurate definition, because it's not control gained by enforcing obedience or order, although it can also be that. That's more the like militaristic type of discipline. Essentially, it's to train or develop by instruction and exercise. It's also, this is sort of my estimation of it, whatever. It's also sort of that consistency of doing something like every day without fail for a period of time. Or perhaps I should tweak that to that you do no matter what. Maybe is the distinction of having actual discipline. The reason I wanted to make a video about discipline was because what I have found recently really interesting about it is that for me, I guess you could say, the key to discipline has been finding the things that I love. So to those of you who might possibly be watching this or who might be out there listening to this, and something that you have struggled with at some point in your life, or perhaps up until now, is discipline, then I would offer you this as a first step towards becoming more disciplined. And I know it probably feels like the opposite of becoming more disciplined, and in fact will actually get you there, is to, as I've spoken about in a recent video, do more of what you love. Start doing more things that you love. Because interestingly, this is the point of the video, in following more of my passions, which again, strangely for me to be doing this now, feeling like it's so late in life to be doing this, now following my passions has led me to become a lot more consistent and thus disciplined about the things which I love, which is really interesting because back when I was younger, I used to have kind of this rebellious spirit about things. What I mean is, this is perhaps a strange example. Back in the day, like way long ago, when I was a younger kid, a teenager in high school, my parents would often give me a hard time about like, you should practice your flute, you should do this, and my little rebellious spirit would be like, no, I don't think so. Can't nobody tell me nothing. And it's strange because I genuinely like music and I love to play music. And so the fact that I kind of tied my own shoelaces together over something that I already liked and like made myself, it's hard to explain. It's this weird convoluted thing. However, the point is that the more you follow those passions that you have, those natural gifts and talents and passions that you have inside of you, no matter what they are, the more I think that you'll fall in love with those things, whatever they are that you already love. Like I already loved music. We all kind of know this here on the channel. And I've fallen more in love with music now that I'm like more intimately familiar with my handpan and things like that. And I am falling in absolute love with painting. And I don't know if you guys know this. You probably do, because if you're here, chances are you maybe know this. But if not, let me share this with you. When you create from a space of really being in love with or passionate about the thing that you're creating, it's a funny thing that it just, more often than not, the end result ends up being so much more unbelievable and amazing than if we were not following our hearts. What I'm just saying is, whenever you have the opportunity to put your whole heart and passions into something, go for it. Because those creations tend to be just wonderful and amazing. And often they're the ones that are created when we find ourselves in a flow state when creating them. Following what you love will take you so many places in life. And it's something that I thought I was embodying and maybe talking about earlier in my life. And I'm only now really just actually embodying what I talk about in that sense, in the following, not just what you're good at, but following your dreams. And even if you're not good at them, for example, me painting, some of you know what age I am. Have never picked up a paintbrush properly. Well, I have. I used to play around in the laundromat with an ex-girlfriend. That's a long story from like eons ago. We would go to do our laundry and we would take out watercolor paper and we would just mess around. And like, I don't know if there's a style for it, but essentially we just splash the brushes and splash the paint around and kind of see what kind of cool creations came out. And sometimes they were like really ugly and awful, and sometimes they were cool. So my point is also, I suppose, within this is that, and I've said this in other ways before, so it's release expectations of things and you will find yourself feeling much more free, because then nothing, and also that allows the person, people, places, things, and whatever to also be more relaxed, because you're allowing them the freedom, because they don't feel like they also have to be any specific thing. It's a very, very interesting phenomena, I guess you could call it. When you fall in love with things, I just watch your world transform. When you start to fall in love with the things that you're doing, and you're not just on this hypnotic trance roll of let me do these things because I believe that it's going to get me to this goal, or because society tells me that this is how the life progression works. I would really urge you to tune back into your heart space and to follow that so much more than you would ever follow this. In fact, if I really encourage you to do anything in these videos, I hope it's to tune back into your beautiful hearts and to tune out the rest of the mess and the noise, of which there are so many opportunities and so many distractions out there. So I'll keep this one nice and brief. I hope that it has impacted you in some way. If you've been struggling with discipline, which was something that up until recently I had struggled with, perhaps realize that your, shall we call it an inability, just for the sake of this example, your inability to have the discipline in certain things may simply be because you're trying to have discipline with things you don't even like. So find out, and again, back to, a theme from another video, know thyself, get to know yourself and your likes, and really, really embrace and fall in love with yourself. I've seen this as a theme on social media lately with people dating yourself. Take yourself out on a solo date and love on yourself. Something that I really need to do, to be perfectly frank with you guys. I get myself flowers from time to time, but I should really take myself out on a date. I've not done that in a really, really long time. And also I invite you to do that. Love yourself enough to do something crazy like that. Spend a day where you don't talk to anyone. You do your favorite thing in the world for just one day. I've spoken about days of rest. All of these are other videos you can find on the channel if you would like to go back and watch them throughout the 365-day project, and some of them may be scattered into other places. I'm not really 100% sure. So if this video has helped you at all, or you know anyone that would help, please do feel free to share it, as I do post these every single day. Subscribe if you aren't, because a good majority of you are, and it really helps out a small creator like myself if you would subscribe, which is totally free. And last but not least, if you do need any support or coaching, feel free to reach out to me here, as always, at this email address, which is also down below. And I will see you, beautiful cats, in the next video. Namaste, stay well, stay healthy. Much love. Bye. Many seed this idea in your little fertile brain. Love yourself enough to do something crazy like that.